Hello, my name's Joanna Berry and I'm the Head of Student Fees and Funding at the University of Oxford. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 22 entry fees and funding arrangements. However, some of the figures used in the talk today will relate to the 2021 entry cycle, as we haven't yet got any updated figures for those looking to apply in 2022. I should also add that whilst the fees and living costs information is relevant to all students, the section of the talk on the funding opportunities relates to UK students who are eligible for both UK government support and for those from lower income households for support from Oxford. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today was fee status, as this determines the fees that you'll be liable for at university. Fee status is based on both your residency and your nationality. So you can either be home or you can be overseas in terms of fee status. And only home students will be eligible for support from the UK government and Oxford. This includes UK and Irish nationals living in the UK or Ireland who will continue to pay fees at the home rate. Our fees for 2022 entry will all be confirmed on our website from the 1st of September 2021. And I've also added in an additional URL here specifically for EU students, as they have some outstanding information related to their entry in terms of their pre-settled or settled status that may deem them eligible for home fee status. So if you could visit the website for the latest information, that will tell you your status for the 2022 entry year. So what are the costs and support that's available? So regardless of your student type, the costs are divided into two chunks. Living costs, so that's the costs associated with your accommodation, food, study costs and materials or personal items, and the costs to cover and the fees, so that's the tuition for your studies. Now, if you're a home student, so we predominantly mean UK or Republic of Ireland student, you will be eligible to access a tuition fee loan from the UK government towards the full amount of your fee, regardless of your income. And as a guide, in 2021, the tuition fee for the year is £9,250. We haven't yet got the fee information for 2022, but this will be published from the 1st of September 2021 on our website. And each year you should plan for the fees to rise in line with inflation, so just a small incremental increase. And for each year of your course, you'll be eligible to access a fee loan from the UK government if you're a home or UK student. So the other costs are the living costs, and there's two forms of support towards these costs. So from the UK government, and the other form of support is from the university if you are from a lower income household. So that's bursary support to help with living costs if your household income is below a certain threshold. So we're going to look at the costs and support in more detail later, but the gov.uk/student-finance URL here will take you to an overview of the funding that's available by UK region, and students simply complete an application for funding and they're supported by any parents or partner, step-parent in the household, and they would submit a separate application to apply for student finance. And we'll look a little bit more detail later about the living cost support for those groups. I first wanted to talk to you about Oxford funding in terms of the support that you can get to help with your living costs. So we're really proud to have a very generous bursary scheme. We haven't yet announced our arrangements for 2022, but they are likely to be very similar to the 2021 funding arrangements, which I've set out here. So in 2021, those students from the UK who have a household income of £27,500 or less are eligible for a Crankstart scholarship, and that's essentially a bursary for living costs of up to £5,000 for each year of the course, access to funded internship opportunities, and also volunteering opportunities. If your household income is assessed as £42,875 or less, then you would be eligible for an Oxford bursary, also a form of university support for living costs. And the bursaries go up to £3,200 at the maximum level. And again, that's for each year of your course. The students who are eligible to access this funding will either qualify for a Crankstart scholarship or an Oxford bursary. and there is no separate application process at Oxford. We will find you if you're eligible and contact you to make you aware of the funding that's available. If you apply to student finance for your government funding and are and select to be means tested, which means to have your household income assessed, this is the figure that will be shared with the university so that we can assess you for our Oxford support that's set out here. So this does rely on students who are being financially assessed by the UK government in their application for student finance. More information about our funding arrangements, including the 2022 arrangements, will all be set out at ox.ac.uk/funding from September. There's some additional funding that we launched this year for students who are travelling to Oxford who may be incurring extra costs compared with students who live nearer. So this is a scheme that we hope to extend to the 2022 cycle. If you are a UK bursary holder who lives more than 80 miles from Oxford, you will qualify for a supplement on a sliding scale. So if you're between 80 and 150 miles from Oxford, we will give you £200 a year towards your travel costs. And if you live more than 150 miles from Oxford, you'll qualify for £500 towards your travel costs. And the other element of funding that we provide is extra help for those students with additional needs. So in 2021, we have a bursary of up to £3,000 available per year to help with costs that UK care leavers may face, or UK students who are studying without the emotional or financial support of their family who are termed estranged. So this bursary is in addition to the Oxford funding that we looked at on the other page, the core bursary to help with living costs. And if you are eligible to receive both strands of funding, the maximum that you can access in 1 year is £7,200. We also have a non-repayable student support fund that's available for students. So if they get into difficulties when they're on course and they have a shortfall in their funding or have exceptional unexpected costs, UK students are eligible to apply for extra help to top up their living cost support. More information on all these additional schemes will be available for 2022 entry over the course of the late summer, early autumn period. And finally, in terms of the UK specific support, I just also wanted to mention one further scheme that we launched last year, which is the Oxford, Arlen Hamilton and Erlene Butler Sims Scholarship. And this is available to UK residents of Black African and Black Caribbean heritage who are from disadvantaged backgrounds. It's a really generous scheme with a scholarship covering course fees and a grant for living costs worth around £12,500 a year, as well as the opportunity to access an additional internship grant of up to £3,000 during the course. So if you are eligible to apply to this scheme, you will be invited to submit an application once you're holding an offer for the university, and we'll have to explain why you're motivated to apply for the scholarship. So I just wanted to flag that now, so it's something you can look out for nearer the time if you're successful in receiving an offer from the university. So what support's available for students from outside the UK or Republic of Ireland? So as I said, the fee status category for this group is overseas, and these students pay a significantly higher level of course fee than UK students. So as a guide, in 21-22, the course fee is between £26,770 and £35,710 per year. And this doesn't include clinical medicine, which is the later stages of the medicine course for which the fees are significantly higher. There are loans available to US and Canadian students to help with fees and living costs. And for other students coming from other countries, we recommend that you check with your home governments to see whether there are any funding opportunities to come and study in the UK specifically. Unfortunately, there's only a limited number of undergraduate scholarships available from the university, and these are advertised via our fees, funding and scholarships search, which will be updated for the 2022 entry cycle again in September. So you can use this URL to visit that section of the website later to find out what you may be eligible to apply for. However, given that there are only a limited number of scholarships, it's really important to ensure that students from outside the UK have sufficient funding to meet both their fees and the living costs for the duration of their course before coming to Oxford. The other forms of Oxford support I'd like to mention, which can help to keep costs down, are related to, firstly, the college system. So all students are guaranteed college accommodation in their first year and at least one other year of their course, with some colleges offering accommodation for all 3 years. Now, this really does keep your living costs down, as you're only paying for accommodation during term time when you're able to make use of the college rooms. And then the expectation is that you would move out in the Christmas and Easter vacations. So if you are somebody who knows that you won't have any costs to meet yourself in terms of rent or accommodation or contributions to households outside of term time, then you can effectively budget for college accommodation to cover the 3 terms, and there will be no other sort of rental costs outside of those periods. The college system also means that there's extremely heavily subsidised meals and really low cost entertainment available through common rooms and through college bars and other societies. So again, that you can get a really good value 3-course meal in college at a very low price. The colleges also have various different forms of funding available, and this varies hugely depending on what kind of support has been either donated to the college or what are the specific priorities of that college to assist with, whether it's book grants, travel grants, equipment grants, or more sort of prizes, for example, for academic work or sports achievements or music. So there is plenty of ways to top up your income as well from these smaller pots of money. So what are the living costs that you can expect at Oxford? These figures relate to the 2021 academic year, and they're estimated to be at the lower and upper ranges between £1,175 and £1,710 per month in Oxford. So that largely breaks down to half going on accommodation, which we've said here, the college tenancy is typically 26 weeks. And then other costs are food costs, which makes up just under another quarter, and the other costs we've grouped together, personal items, social activities and study costs, which is just over a quarter. And that's it's worth bearing in mind that anything that you currently do as part of your school studies or college studies that's a hobby, you may need to include some money in your budget for carrying on those kind of activities that you're now sort of required to meet out of your own living costs when you're managing your living costs, contributions and money coming in. And finally, I wanted to look at the government support, which again is for UK students only. So we've seen how the Oxford bursaries can help students from lower income households with their living costs. In addition, the UK government provides UK students with basic maintenance funding regardless of income. So everybody's entitled to a minimum level of funding from the UK government to support their studies. In addition, if you apply to be means tested or financially assessed and you're from a lower income household, you can access an increased level of maintenance funding, so extra monies towards your living costs. And if you're studying here with extra needs, there's additional targeted support available, for example, for students with disabilities who may have study-related costs to meet, or those studying with dependents who might have childcare-related costs to meet, or other costs related to dependents. And again, that can be accessed through student finance at the same time as you apply for your maintenance and tuition fee support. So anybody who wishes to access the UK government funding, if they're a UK student, would create an account online via the gov.uk portal, and then anybody supporting their application with financial information, so parents, step-parents, and a partner in the household, would provide their information and create a separate account to support that. These applications open from January onwards in the January preceding admission, so it would be January 2022 for students looking to start in September 2022, and then each region of the UK has slightly different arrangements, so you apply to the country in which you're living, and I'll show you a little bit more about that now. So there's the 4 funding agencies. So if you are living in England, you apply to Student Finance England when you come to study at university. If you're living in Wales, you apply to Student Finance Wales, and so on. As you can see from this chart, the English system is the only one with a loan for living costs in place, and no other grant funding, as that was discontinued about 3 or 4 years ago now. So the maximum loan somebody could get from the household incomes of £25,000 or less is £9,488, and everybody else can access a form of funding up to £4,422 on a sliding scale for those who are in from a higher household income. The other regions of the UK still have some form of grant funding for their living cost support in addition to the loan, and the level of funding available varies, as you can see, by region. In terms of repayments, any tuition fee support and maintenance support are combined into a single amount to repay once you've left your course and are earning above a set amount. So if you are not working, or you stop working, or your income falls below a certain threshold, then the repayments would simply stop. So it's a very affordable way of accessing a loan to support your studies. You will only be able to repay based on what you earn, not what you owe. So it will never be impossible to meet the repayments. It's all structured around your earnings. And this slide just provides a little bit more detail on the interest. So as I said, it's a single amount to repay once you've left your course, and the interest is currently applied to the loans based on a form of inflation, which is the retail price index, and up to 3%, depending on whether you're studying or have graduated. And this puts the information into context in terms of salaries and things when you finished. So if you had a recent graduate who was from England earning £30,000 a year as their salary, they would currently repay just £26 a month. There's more information on the repayment arrangements for government support at studentloanrepayment.co.uk. And I just wanted to close by saying, well, thank you very much for listening today. And Oxford would like to reassure you that our ambition here is to ensure that nobody with outstanding academic potential is deterred from studying here because of their background, personal circumstances or finances. So I hope the information that we've provided today goes some way to reassuring you that we want you to be here, and we've put the support in place to help you make that decision. Thank you very much.